Hey, how's it going? It's Walsh here, sick as always. Welcome to episode 42 of the Secrets of the Atlas League here on Ruthless SSF. So far, everything is going well. I'm still just trying to farm Eater of Worlds currency, that way I can try and reroll the next character. I'm really happy we finally got a Jewel, and obviously I only ran one four-way, so like, take this, what I'm about to say, with a grain of salt. But I think it's better to do four ways than three ways on Ruthless. Maybe the three ways are better if you have like really good damage, but even then I think the four way is probably better. I mean, I did two three ways, I got nothing, I did four way and got one, which is absolutely useless data. It doesn't really tell you anything. But I don't know, I feel like four is definitely the way to go. So if you are going to farm Legion like me, that's probably the route I would take. But, you know, experiment, try whatever. But anyway, I hope you enjoy the video, and I'll see you near the end. So right now my main objective is just to farm some Eldritch currency, that way I can enchant my body armor so I can reroll my next character. There are definitely a few builds I'm really considering rolling into, but I'm going to try and focus on one right now just so I don't get too distracted. I got an Alva Temple, but honestly it was pretty terrible. I got nothing from it from gold, which is nice. I do like gold, but we got nothing else. I got a third copy of the amulet, which is awesome. It means I can keep double corrupting it. And I kind of got impatient, so I didn't really get the enchantments I needed. But you know what? I re-rolled anyway. So I am re-rolling into an Inquisitor Lightning Tendrils, and this time I'm playing the Lightning Tendrils that I'd never played before, and this is the one that doesn't actually have a larger beam, and instead it just has a really big AoE, which is pretty awesome. It lets you use CoC effect, not for free because it still reduces your AoE pretty significantly, but it's pretty nice. You know, you get to have a nice AoE. You don't have to worry about like waiting for the skill to channel up to the full cast so you can do all your damage. So there's pros and cons with this. You know, the first one we already talked about, the AoE. The downside is you don't really get those huge chunk hits like you normally do with Lightning Tendrils. But what's kind of interesting is like I've played a lot of Lightning Tendrils characters, probably like 8 or 9 at this point, I'm pretty sure. And usually the biggest problem is no matter how strong you get, like you always have to wait like a second and a half to kill really like crappy packs of mobs, you know, just like trash. And the reason for that is like your tiny hit basically does no damage at all, and then you have to like wait for the big charge to finally kill them. So it's kind of interesting. Like the trade-off is you no longer have to like not I don't want to say struggle, but like killing trash is going to feel a lot better, but you lose like the crazy top end damage. But at the same time, your damage is far more consistent overall. So I have no idea how this character is going to go. There's so many characters I really want to reroll, and honestly, I just wanted to go through the campaign, just start a new character, and just see how it feels. But anyway, we got through the campaign in 4 hours and 49 minutes. I had a great time leveling this character. Highly recommend the skill so far. So even though I'm not res capped, I have like 50 fire res and like 60 cold res or something like that. This character is ridiculously tanky. I just stand still and face tank everything. Now obviously a big part of that is block, because block is really powerful. I wasn't able to do this level 79 safe house though. I had to use the star caller, and I'm a dumbass and didn't record it, but we accidentally 5-linked the body armor, which is fantastic. It's kind of funny, my original plan for this character was to secretly craft some cluster jewels and try to do something with that. But, like, there was no way I couldn't use this jewel. I mean, I plan on using it on another character as well, but mainly just for this one. Like, getting the frenzy charges on hit might not be worth the points, but I kind of think it is. If, like, for no other reason than it gives me, like, justification to actually go for the charge mastery, which I was pretty, like, on the fence about. It didn't really seem super worth it. But, like, you can't just look at it from a damage perspective. It also gives you a ton of mana regen, which this character, I don't want to say it struggles with, but it's definitely something you have to keep factoring in. Obviously, we can, oh my god. Sorry, I got distracted by rippage. But, yeah, obviously, like, you can't get stuff like, you know, reduced cost of skills on rings or whatever, so you gotta solve all your mana problems in a different way. But so far, really enjoying this character. Not really sure how far it's gonna go, because, like, it's not really meant to be, like, a really good bosser. I kind of just want it for a map farmer. And as long as it can do tier 14s really well, I'm going to be pretty happy. I kind of wish there was a way to, like, reset this helmet. Because, obviously, like, this is from another character. I haven't even died that many times. Maybe there is? Am I dumb? No. I mean, it's not a big deal. I don't really care that much. But it would be kind of nice if you could reset it. So I can wear my Shaco, but because my gem's already leveled up from another character, I have to wait until I'm level 70 before I can use them, which is kind of awkward because infused channeling is like a big part of keeping this character alive. But anyway, I'm just going to use Lightning Pen for now and a low-level Arcane Surge. I kind of don't want to level it up because I like having a low-level one for mapping. Or sorry, not for mapping, but for campaign, but I might just level up anyway. I mean, it's only 2 levels. Like, I need to be like a little more patient. I'm still not res capped, but it's cool. Once I hit 73, I'll be res capped. It'll be fine. I still have to change, like, the Eater of Worlds implicit, but it's fine for now. Obviously, like, the Fizz taken as lightning would be the best bet, especially because I'm shock immune, so there's really no downside. But I might get greedy and go for something else, but I probably won't. So I need to wait one more level before I can also turn on my Herald of Thunder. I got rid of Herald of Ice now, and if you're wondering why I'm using Zealotry, it's for a couple of reasons. One, it helps trigger Elemental Overload because we are using Controlled Destruction, which is pretty rough to trigger it because we're at, like, I think 7% critical strike chance once I get, like, everything I need, or all my gear anyway. But in addition to that, we are an Inquisitor, so having our enemies be on consecrated ground is a pretty big damage jump for us, so it's just kind of a win-win. I mean, there's like an argument for going haste if I want to make this like a map farmer, but I think Zealotry overall is going to be way better. I think overall I underestimated how this skill would do. I feel way tankier and the damage feels very consistent. It's kind of weird, like, you know, I've played pretty much, at this point I've played every version of Lightning Tendrils there is, and I thought this one would feel really, really bad, but it just kind of doesn't. It just feels like Lightning Tendrils with like a really nice average DPS as opposed to a really like violently fluctuating one. But anyway, hit level 73, I could finally wear my real body armor. I'm res capped now, and life is good. I have a lot of ES, I got a lot of armor. Well, a lot of armor by, you know, Ruthless SSF standards anyway. But yeah, face taking everything, got a really nice amulet here. I'm not, like, the only downside of this character is it feels like I'm playing like the Stormburst character all over again. But other than that, I'm having a great time, and more tier 17s. So I'm only level 73, I've only just put this body armor on like a couple of maps ago. But I gotta tell you, I can already feel the difference, and it's only gonna get better once I get my Sigil of Power going on, which I will have enough mana for eventually. But I gotta tell you, just getting like free charges with 0 effort feels so good. Like, even just having the Frenzy and Power charges is good enough, but having Endurance charges on top of that just feels incredible. As you can see, we're just, like, face tanking everything. Not that this is, like, a rippy map or anything like that, it's only a tier 9. But, I mean, again, I am only level 73. I have a lot of, like, defenses to get from here. I pretty much took all my damage, though. There's a few more for me to get, but right now, most of my damage is just going to come from my gem level, so my main skill. I'm not using CoC effect because, like, I don't know, it just makes mapping feel so much worse. I mean, mapping is still fine with it. Like, here, I can switch to it, whereas... I have it somewhere. It's in here, isn't it? Yeah. Can you stop attacking me for 2 seconds? There we go. Yeah, as you can see, this is the AoE. It's still pretty good. Also, my mana will not be a problem once my clarity levels up a few more times. But yeah, like, I'm mostly just leveling using the lightning pen, but as you can see right now, yeah, it's still totally fine. And in some ways, I think it might even be better to map like this, but I kind of just don't want to. It doesn't feel as good. But so far, this is a really fun version of Lightning Tendrils. No idea if it's going to be strong enough for tier 14, but I kind of think it will be. So I'm pretty confident with most of my gear. I'm probably not going to be changing any of my gear for a very long time, if ever, outside of maybe some jewels or whatever. But the only thing up for debate for me right now is whether or not I want to automate my curse. Hold on. That was almost worth taking. I'm thinking about automating with Orb of Storm using Hex Touch, but I don't know if it's going to be worth it. But, like, here's the pros and cons, right? The pro is, obviously, you know, quality of life. I'll feel a lot better about using my Sigil of Power, because it's just one less button I have to click all the time, which is going to be really nice. And, of course, I'll be cursing everything all the time instead of just whenever I feel like clicking on it. The downside is I am taking the Caster Mastery, which gives me 6% increased cast speed for every spell I cast myself, which is pretty nice. I mean, when I cast all of them, it feels really good. I can't use Sigil right now, like I said, I don't have enough mana, but I will once I get a few more levels. But yeah, I don't know if it's going to be worth it. Like, the quality of life might make it worth it, but you also have to realize that when you use Hex Touch, it makes your curse actually just worse by itself. So it's going to be less damage overall, but is the quality of life worth it? I don't know. I was really hoping for a beachhead here, and we didn't get it, but whatever, it's fine. I mean, it's not like I'm really desperate for one or anything like that, but it would have been cool. But anyway, I'm face tanking rare tier 11s now. This character just tanks everything. And in a weird way, it's like I really like it, but at the same time, like I said earlier, it kind of feels like I'm just playing Stormburst again. So right now, I'm in like kind of this awkward mental place with this character. Like, I'm really enjoying it so far. It's pretty awesome just having, you know, Frenzy, Power, Endurance charges all the time. But it's like, I just played the Stormburster, which was a channeling lightning character. Granted, it was totally different because, you know, I'm not using, like, Sigil of Power on that. We're also not crit on this character. So it's different enough that it's definitely, like, not the same build. But ever since, like, I realized that this jewel can get me not only frenzy charges, but power charges constantly, I kind of, like, I kind of want to take advantage of that in some way, which I kind of am right now. You know, I'm getting the free frenzy charges, which is pretty cool, but I'm not doing all of it. Like, I still have to, like, invest to get power charges a little bit. I mean, I am using the spell mastery, so I have free endurance or power charges all the time anyway. But I kind of want to make a character that uses all of that. I just don't know what I would do yet. So if you see me reroll, hey, fracturing. If you see me reroll, I do apologize, but maybe I won't. I'm gonna keep pushing on this character. I was gonna go farm on my Pathfinder for a little while, but I realized if I did that, I would definitely abandon this character. So I'm gonna keep playing, keep mapping on this character for a while. Maybe I'll gain some levels and like, you know, think of something new I can do with this character, or maybe I'll just start having more fun with it. But yeah, it's just bad, awkward timing. I will say, though, this build is pretty awesome. I can face tank pretty much everything so far. I mean, granted, you know, it's only a tier 12 map, but so far it feels great. And all my next nodes are just like tank. Oh, wait, I forgot I was supposed to do this. Yes. Yeah, there we go. 300 ES. Easy. So yeah, I got distracted, but like I was saying, my plan now, I am just going to farm on this character for a while, think about that reroll possibility using the jewel, and if I don't really come up with anything, stretch. If I don't really come up with anything, then honestly, I'm just gonna stick with this character. But if I do, there's a very realistic chance that I reroll, but we'll see. I rerolled, and let me tell you, I was very excited to reroll into a cast on crit elementalist. My plan was as soon as I got to Act 4 was to use cast on crit, but guess what? I don't actually own cast on crit support. I don't know how I don't own it. I swear I have seen it in my stash, and I guarantee you at some point I looked at the gem and I was like, I am never going to use this, and I 3-1'd it. I guarantee it, because I am 99% sure I saw it in my stash. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm crazy, but I broke my rule. My rule is supposed to be if I don't have 2 copies of a gem, I don't 3-1 it. But every once in a while, I'm just like, nah, I'm 100% sure I'll never use this, and I always regret it. So, like I said, everything kind of fell apart in Act 4 when I realized I didn't have cast on crit. So I didn't really know what to do, so I just grabbed Ice Spear and went with that. And I gotta tell you, Ice Spear of Splitting, self-casting, up until like Act 8, actually felt pretty amazing. I'm actually kind of surprised how nice this felt to level with. And I'm not gonna like sit here and say it's like the best thing to level with or anything like that, but it was actually really comfortable. And that's like, you have to keep in mind, I had nothing on my tree to support it. I didn't have cast speed, didn't have cold damage or anything like that. Near the end, I got some crit notes, but that was about it. But we are not playing Ice Spear. We are here to play Cast on Crit, Discharge of Misery, Elementalist. And my plan was not to use a Cost Breeze. I was going to use the 5-link setup in my body armor, but since we don't have the gem, I have no choice. I have no idea how this is going to work. I literally just deleted my path of building because there's no point, because I had a whole different setup. Now, granted, I probably could have kept it and just changed it, but I was so salty and depressed I didn't actually have the gem. I was like, screw this. I'm just going to go ahead and delete it and make a new tree. So, yeah, we're going to go from there and hopefully make this work. And if not, we always have the Lightning Tendrils character. I still can't believe I don't have cast on crit. That's like so sad. Man, I should have looked sooner, I guess. You know, that would have been the smart thing to do, but I was just so excited to play this character, I didn't even think to look. I just kind of assumed I had it. So the main things I'm missing right now is Assassin's Mark, obviously, but I'll get that at level 70. I'm also missing my auras because I need to get some more points on my tree so I can afford it. But as you can see, this is what it's like when I can't really crit reliably. But anytime I crit, like the discharge just does so much damage. Which it will be more reliable once I'm actually cursing and have auras. Actually, I'm not using Zealotry. I think I'm using Wrath, but I can't remember. But yeah, I would have done so much damage. Actually, let me show you what I was going to use. 1 second here. So I was pretty excited. I was going to use this dagger right here. And honestly, it was giving me quite a bit of damage. Just like the chance for double. The Fizz as extra cool does basically nothing, but the spell damage is really nice. And of course, getting that increased global critical strike chance is really good. But yeah, really sad about this. Obviously, Cost Breeze is really cool. On the bright side, though, I got to learn about that Ice Spear, the Transfigured one, which was actually pretty fun to level with. Granted, by the end of it, I was getting really sick and tired of like self-casting it. But overall, I had a good time with it. It's pretty cool using the ephemeral bond. I'm not sure if I'm gonna stick with this till the end, but I think I will because it's like such a good damage modifier for me, especially since I'm gaining power charges all the time and losing them all the time. I don't know if it's like gonna be the perfect amulet, but I'm gonna use it for a while. Obviously, the Inyas are best in slot for me because it's the best way for me to get up to my maximum power charges really quickly. I don't know if this character is gonna work. I really have no idea, especially since I don't have cast on crit. Now I'm just kind of like winging it and hoping for the best. Also, yeah, since I don't have cast on crit, I'm just like using casting while channeling, which is nowhere near as efficient. And I'm using ball lightning of static instead of orbiting because I don't have it. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. Without a doubt, this is the worst start of a character I've had this entire league. I am like straight up struggling in tier 1, tier 2 maps, just dying. And the biggest problem I have is just I'm not really critting reliably. But you know, like I just said, once I hit level 70, it'll get better. But I'm so sad. I can't believe I don't have cast on crit. I'm gonna really try and make this character work, but like I don't know if I could do it without cast on crit, but we're gonna try and find out. I finally hit level 70 though, so I'm gonna go get Assassin's Mark and see if that fixes anything. Yeah, Assassin's Mark is pretty good. It makes a pretty big difference. Now, there's definitely more things to improve on this character, but it's kind of nice. Like, I started at the very rock bottom where everything felt terrible, nothing was synergizing at all, and now every time I level up and I get some more stuff on the tree, switch some gems out, everything is starting to come together, and I'm really kind of enjoying this character. No idea if it's going to work, but hey, at least it's getting better, right? Alright, here's the plan. So already this character is feeling a lot better, but like I said, I really need cast on crit. It'll be a much better version of this build. Like having that dagger really makes a huge difference. However, I'm going to stick with this character, and if I do end up hitting like a brick wall and I can't really progress reasonably, I'm going to go back to the Lightning Tendrils character and farm on that for a while and see how far I can take it. And then maybe just stick with that character, or if I finally get cast on crit, come back to this character. But like, I really want to see if I can make this work with Cospreys. It's obviously going to be worse, but maybe I can make it work. I had a decent ring here with a bad base, so I corrupted it, and you know what? It technically got better. I'm not saying I'm ever going to put it on, but hey. Oh my god. Alright, that's a pretty good ring. Alright. I tried to go for a 3-1 here for cast on crit, but it failed. And I gotta tell you, it's kind of beautiful watching this character go from struggling to complete a tier 1 to now just like killing stuff. Feels really good. So I just realized this entire time I've been using inspiration. Now we're going to use increased critical strikes, because that should hopefully be better. So yeah, it turns out increasing the critical strike chance of Cyclone makes a pretty damn big difference. I mean, there's still a lot of stuff to improve, but just that gem alone made this build feel so much better. That is a pretty damn good shield. Alright, so I'm going to make some changes. First of all, we are taking Zealot's Oath. That way my Golem's life regen is instead applying to my energy shield. Now, obviously, anytime my Golem is dead, it's not going to feel amazing. But, like, I was trying to do, like, energy shield leech and mess with that, but it's so bad and inconsistent, it's not even worth it. Also, the upside of coming up here means I can spec over to Arcane Potency, whereas before I wasn't doing that. Also, I think what I'm going to do is drop this entire section, because if I have this much regen, I actually don't need to reduce the cost of the skills. And if I'm being honest with you, like, I don't really have good block chance, so spending 3 points on this node really isn't worth it. So I'm going to respec this entire part of the tree. I'm going to come up here, get this, and then obviously eventually get this. But yeah, I think Zealot's Oath is the way to go for this. I was thinking about, like, also, I want to point out when I do this, I can drop Clarity, which will let me use another damage aura, which is going to be very nice. I was thinking about, like, going another direction and going, like, Tempest Shield and stuff like that, but it just doesn't look very good. I would have to have a really nice shield to make that worth it, and I just don't have one. So, for better or worse, it's going to be my strategy. Again, I'm going to drop down here, get crit up here, and then, of course, I'm not doing Energy Shield Leech anymore. Drop Clarity, switch to Wrath, and hopefully have some more... Well, I will definitely have some more damage, but we'll see how it goes. I dropped a 12% quality gem, which on Ruthless is pretty nice, because then you can just go to lab and just, like, transfigure it and get free quality. But yeah, anyway, I changed my tree like you saw, and now I never run out of energy shield, which feels amazing. Now, obviously in super rippy maps, like the golems are probably going to die every now and then, but I think it's still going to be fine. But now we have all of our auras, we have Herald of Ice, which is just beautiful, and I gotta tell you, this character is really coming together. I no longer struggle, I'm actually just having fun now. Hey, Mace, for the video, I just want to say thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I am level 72, 43% of the way to 73, and I gotta tell you, I almost quit on this character so many times. Ever since Act 4, and I realized I don't have cast on crit, I was like, alright, this character's done. I'm gonna play something else. I'm gonna go back to Lightning Tendrils or make a whole new character. But I am so happy I didn't, because already this character is feeling so much better. I mean, I've solved my mana issue, and I understand that, like, in super rippy maps, the golem's gonna die. But, like, it's not like my regen is literally 0, so, like, it'll still be okay. It just won't be as smooth as it is right now. But just fixing all these tiny little problems feels so good. And obviously, I can't really change too much with my link setup. I would like to use, like, infused channeling to be tankier, but I just really can't afford it. And it's pretty funny that this entire time I wasn't using increased critical strikes, and the second I put that on, the character felt so much better. So we have all of our auras on. We are currently running 4 auras, or sorry, yeah, running 4 right now. We've got Zealotry, we've got Precision, Herald of Ice, and we got Skitterbots. We have our Assassin's Mark going. We have 3 golems going on right now, which is pretty fantastic. I don't really like. I mean, there's like an argument for trying to get a 4th one, but it would be so expensive and definitely not worth it. And even if I got the helmet for getting double golems, I would not use it on this character. My gear is already stretched pretty thin. And there is still some stuff I could improve on, but I mean, I can't deal with it right now. Right now, all I need to do is level up and try to get this build to function a little bit better. We did change our tree, as you saw. I'm not using all this stuff down here. We already talked about this a little bit, but just as a reminder. And I would say, at least on Ruthless, like, there's no way I could get away with not using EB. Having to use, like, Clarity and Mana Regen, I'd have to go, like, Arcane Surge and stuff. That's just not really good. Also, this is not a good note to take. Do not take this with Discharge, because the minimum power charge cannot be deleted by the Discharge. So sure, you'll have 1 power charge all the time, which will give you 8% increased damage, but that means your Discharge can never blow up 6 power charges, which is really bad. So right now, I'm just going to focus on leveling this character up. I have to change my body armor at some point. I have to change a lot of stuff, but I'm not going to stress about it too much right now. We were at 1,239 red maps, 445 yellow. It's kind of funny, like, just in that tiny amount of time I played my Pathfinder, I completed, like, no joke, like 70 maps or something. I don't even know exactly how many, but it was a ton. Love that Pathfinder character. We'll talk more about that in a minute. But I do just want to say at this point, we're at week 8 now, and we're definitely past the halfway point of the league. I've probably got, 3 or 4 weeks left in me, but maybe more. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I will say I'm glad the leagues are extended, and I don't know, it's kind of nice. Like, I feel so much less pressure because it's not like, oh man, there's only 3 months, so like you have to do all this stuff. It's like so much more stretched out, so I feel much more relaxed. But since we're at this point in the league, we are not going to be going back to a video every single day. At most, there'll be a video every other day, assuming all my medical stuff chills out. But yeah, I'll definitely be uploading every week, but we'll see what happens in terms of scheduling. My currency, we'll talk more about the other characters in a second. My currency is pretty pretty depressing. I used so many chromes on this character. I think my boots took like, I don't know, 100 and something chromes, and I still didn't get the colors I wanted, which is fine. It's whatever. It's not the end of the world. But everything else is okay. We got a bunch of Alex, got a couple Chaos chilling around. I have no fusings, no scours. It is what it is. What I'm probably going to do is farm on this character for a while, see how it feels, see if I can push it to like level 80 or so, and then evaluate from there. And if I'm really desperate for money still, or the character is just not really performing super well, I'll probably go back to the Starcaller, or maybe even back to the Stormburst character, and just farm some currency for a little while. But other than that, I am so happy to have this jewel. Like, my initial plan was to spec it down over here, because right here gives you frenzy charges, and it was either this one or this one gives you power charges, but it just wasn't worth it. It was like 10 or 12 points, and like, it's so much easier just to go here. Like, yeah, it sucks to like spend 3 points, but it's still so much cheaper. Also, I get to take the anoint rate, or sorry, the supreme ostentation, which is fantastic. As you can see, my dexterity is abysmal, and even without the cost freeze, I still needed like 200 dex for my dagger or whatever. So just having that, like, and not having to worry about attributes feels pretty incredible. Alright, let's talk about the Pathfinder. First of all, I just want to say Scourge Arrow of Menace is amazing. I love this gem so much. It's so fun. It's everything I love about bow skills without being like a generic meta skill. Actually, I don't know if it's a meta skill. I don't really know if anyone plays this, but maybe they do. I have no idea. I don't even have the 20% quality yet, and the quality makes a really big difference. At some point, I will get that because this character makes me so much money. It's actually kind of humorous. Like, what's the playtime on this character? 13 hours, and this character has made me so much money. It just maps so quickly, and I don't even have to pay attention at all. You could literally just like close your eyes and just go flying through maps and kill everything, and it's so comfortable. I love it. Obviously, you're not going to be doing like tier 16s on this character or anything like that. I mean, maybe you could if you had insane gear, but I don't. I will say my bow is pretty insane. I mean, at least by my standards, that is a hell of a bow. I mean, honestly, it's so good. I was thinking about actually making a legitimate Scourge arrow, like the non-transfigured version, but I'm going to save that for another time. Other than that, though, love this character. This build is fantastic, and you're going to be seeing it more. Last character I want to talk about is the Lightning Tendrils Inquisitor, and I just want to start by saying Lightning Tendrils of Escalation is way more fun than I ever thought it would be. Like, I'm so used to the other two versions. First of all, I just want to state that my favorite is just the original vanilla Lightning Tendrils, but I think this is actually, like, I think I prefer this one over the other transfigured one, and the main reason for that is, like, it just feels more comfortable with mapping. I'm sure the other ones are better for bossing or whatever. Maybe they are. I haven't really ran the numbers or anything like that. But it's just like you always have a constant source of damage instead of like doing 0 damage, big damage, 0 damage, big damage. This one's just like damage all the time. And the AoE feels amazing. Like you can just channel and hit stuff on the other side of the screen and it's just so comfortable. Also, really happy I got to use this Forbidden Shaco. And what I think I'm going to do is if I get to the point where I'm like, I don't think I'm going to come back to this character, I think I'm going to double corrupt the Shaco, and if it hits, I am going to come back to this character. But, you know, I'm not locking anything yet. I really don't want to double corrupt this until I'm entirely sure. Because as of right now, I really like this build, and if the, you know, cast on crit discharge character doesn't work out, I'm probably going to come back to it. Some of the gear is like questionable in a way. Null and Void, the main reason I'm using this is it gives me good regen, and the Rampage actually gives me movement speed, because the biggest turnoff for this character for me is the movement speed, which, you know, 40% isn't terrible, but you have to realize I normally wear a shield. So we're at 37, which granted, I'm being pretty greedy. 37 is pretty damn nice. I think the problem is I played this right after the Pathfinder, and I was like 60% movement speed all the time. So it's not even this character's fault. 37 is actually more than I thought. It just felt slower compared to other stuff. Anyway, I've been talking your ear off. Sorry about that. Thank you so much for tuning in. The series is not over. Like I said, I've got another, like, somewhere between, like, 2 and 4 weeks left in me. But you never know. Things could change. Maybe I'll go longer. Maybe it'll be a little shorter. I never really know. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you've never watched me before, the main thing that keeps me playing PoE is like the excitement of like working towards something. If I'm ever at the point where I'm like kind of mentally exhausted and not working on more builds, that's pretty much the biggest, like, I don't want to say warning sign, but like the biggest sign that I'm pretty much done with the league. And I'm not there yet. There's still a lot of stuff I want to work on, so many builds I really want to play. But you never know what's going to happen. I just don't want to lie to you. And I have this. I was going to say it's a secret project, but I'm showing it to you right now. I would like to try to make this work, but I need so much gear. So don't even expect to see this, but I am secretly working on it, even though it's not really a secret. Other than that, the other main characters I'm working towards require a sword. But you can probably guess what that is. But other than that, I just need, you know, cast on crit, and I'd be very happy. Also, I did get a bunch of essence, which feels really nice, and the currency I need to resolve, but other than that, things are looking good. And if I do have to go farm currency, I would like to go try to farm some more Legion, and Legion. Well, Legion too, but also Ritual, trying to get some omens. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. Sorry I talked so long, and I'll see you later.